to be practical and deal with real plans that really, really will work. I've talked in the past about working with modeling, working with gamers, working with all of these map plans, and you look at the demographics of a city as it runs, this model, it's incredible. And so you have all this type of gaming, you have people doing the first person shooter, but then you have the real time scenario. That's kind of like the Sim City stuff where you made your own little city and everything. Well, it's all elaborate now. Everybody's making their own new worlds, and there's art, and it's incredible, fantastic, real life, realistic 3D quality. But SAR satellites for many, many years have since been able to see basically this radiographic information picking up, can see the color of a blade of grass, literally blade of grass. And you have areas where some satellites were launched a decade or more ago, 60 frames per second. When you watch a video, it's like 25 frames a second. When you had your best VHS or DVDs are 30 frames a second for the most part. So if you want to understand quality, the quality of really, really good cameras where you can zoom in, when you have something that's so accurate that from outer space, the satellite can basically see a blade of grass. This is not a joke. So this is the technology that we need to think about using. Number one, instead of listening to all these people make these various proposals that kind of sort of sound like a circus proposal, like a bunch of people were coming out and running around like clowns with a big, huge bag of peanuts that are loose, and they stick their hand inside and they just sling out these loose peanuts and let everybody run and grab them. We have to get real about this stuff. I'm not joking. There's a lot of us out there, we're really, really getting tired of these emotional grandstanding items that people have been doing. Not wanting to get serious about actually doing something. And we really, really want these various people, regardless of party, that to us seem like, they're drinking some kind of strange tea or punch or whatever. This doesn't help you with your gaming experience, okay? Put it down, step away, now sit down and understand, we don't need a wall at the border when we can have high-end SAR satellite technology, when we can invest in the computers to basically reinterpret the data that we already have. Because the way they work, they grab a lot of raw data, and then you have to have a certain number of computers to focus in and reinterpret that data. That's how it works. So what we need are a lot of reinterpretive computers. They're expensive, yes, but when people start talking about $1 billion for a wall, $1 billion on SAR retranslative computer sciences, along with some AI enhanced stuff to help manage everything better. You're driving rings around this concept back and forth that you're just going to put up this wall, because there's no escape. There's no escape. You look down and you go, oh, look at all the dots. But see, SAR is not like an optical satellite. Where daytime weather, clouds get in the way. Oh, no. This goes right through the clouds. Whoop, zip, right through the clouds. Sees a blade of grass. But we need more computers to interpret the data. That's the way it works. You got to have more computers to interpret the data. So this is a solid investment. You're talking about setting up situations where you can say, hey, look, as far as these, murderers and violent rapists, that would obviously be first priority. So look, there's going to be no escape. You can't escape the radiographic device. It's going to track you down. The computer's eventually going to track you down and see wherever you go, with a few rare exceptions. But, for the most part, you have to think about, what are you doing? Where are you at? And do you really want to do that? Can we make some more safety here now today? Hello. So this is important. Why is somebody going to want to do some of these crazy things like these mass shootings? Now, if we're going to address some of the other areas, there are a lot of psychology experiments that were done. A lot of think tank stuff was done with me and some other gamers. We did a lot of stuff, and some other guys, which they're not around anymore. They're really nice people. They had a lot of brains, and they're no longer with us. So, basically, there's a lot of options that we can do. And part of them deal with, we have to stop the lies in government. We have to stop the lies in government. You can't have people in government standing up and grandstanding, pretending as though they're protecting you and telling you the truth, when that simply isn't the case. We have to end that. We have to end that. We can't have a case where the moment that somebody in government commits a crime, all of a sudden the prosecutors won't go to work. And we've seen this time after time after time. You see all these people marching. Hi, how you doing? Black Lives Matter. Why aren't you prosecuting these people when they were, blatantly murdered in the middle of the street? Caught I don't know, was it 7 cameras, 9 cameras, 13 cameras? Some of this is just really ridiculous. And this is happening all the time. It's like more people die by being murdered by a police officer than there are days in the year, okay? This is happening all the time, So we need to understand the percentages. Number one, let's be honest. Human beings are not perfect. Let's be honest about this. So if the percentage is every time you get a large number of people employed, you're going to have people making mistakes, yes? People aren't perfect. People can make mistakes. Okay, you're still going to end up with a number that's what? That's crazy? That's crazy? Yeah. So we have to understand more about situations. And some people need to learn a lot more about participating and making sure that they deal with the problems their community might have. Because there's a lot of these so-called sad stories, and you have a lot of people out there. They're trying to prioritize what is the most important item. Well, if the reality is that scientifically, if you take a really good cold medicine that's been on the shelf for 75 years and you say, we're going to remove it because a few people decided to abuse it. They're going to spend 8 times more than normal processing, but they're going to turn it into a dope. They're nutcases. So, and then punish everybody else. And then here's the stats. Well, you're going to sneeze and snot 16 times more than the other type of cold medicine that's on the shelf. Obviously, things change. People put a new item out there. Those statistics I'm using might be a little bit old. Give me a break here. But the reality is the spread pattern. If you take the really good symptom relief medication off the shelf, I had a bunch of stuff, I studied this, the spread pattern, boom, you're talking 3 times, 6 times more sneezing of snot and distance. You'll have a lot of those little sneezes, those are extra, but those aren't necessarily going any further. It's the ones that end up going further that wouldn't exist if you had a better symptom relief medication. Well, when you have a pandemic, this means how many people are not having good symptom relief medication nearby, like in their car, at their house, in their desk at work, etc. Some of these people were told. I'm one of these people. I called in and told people when they were started to do this stuff. I says, you can't do this. You're going to get a whole bunch of people killed. You can't do this. You people are not doctors. This is not science. Don't do this. You're going to get a whole bunch of people killed. And they just wouldn't listen. What happens? You start figuring out the extra sneeze rates, the extra spread patterns, and you get an equated number. California, first year COVID, over 9,000 extra dead people. And, COVID goes on the second year. Way over 10,000. Way over 10,000. Number 13 to 14,000, okay? Now here's the thing. We have other states that followed suit and said, yeah, we're going to do the same thing because a few people are stealing cold medicine or whatever, and processing it. So they followed suit. You add those numbers together, what happened is these people who are not doctors brought an extra death toll on it that's like 50,000 people. It's comparable to Vietnam. Give me a break here. Well, other than the other wounds factor, but this is not a joke. This is real life. This is real truth. This is real science. And these people don't even want to admit that they made a mistake. They were grandstanding. Last thing they want to do is admit a mistake, that they made a mistake. And some of them are looking more and more nervous all the time. And they're really concerned. And this is part of the problem with the attitude in government. When you get people they're memeists, they're grandstanding, and they're interested in their career, and they're with their personal idea of the buddy club version. Now keep in mind there's a lot of buddy club versions out there. It doesn't work like people think. There's no such thing as all cops. Oh, no. It does not work that way, I'm just telling you, because I've had plenty of friends that were cops or sheriffs. Most all of them, they've gone on, but and I had other friends. Man, I went to school with people that they made mistakes in life, And by the way, most of them were honest. They were like, "Yeah, I made a mistake," Okay, yeah. But in reality here, there are a lot of items that we have to address. We have to professionally address these items involving the psychology behind some of this stuff, because some of it can get really, really deep. And we have people that are trying to manipulate us on social media and all these other different ways, and they're really not valid. We know when we see certain people that they're very flippant, that they're not really necessarily there, or they're just full of rage. They're just running around doing it, or they're getting paid to do it, or whatever. The thing is that maybe sometimes people make mistakes like you make a mistake, and you think you're doing something right, and guess what? You're not exactly doing something right. So you have to think about a lot of stuff. I mean, for instance, if you're running your Sim City, here's your model. You're running the city, and you say, we want to get rid of guns so we don't have a bunch of kids getting killed. Okay, well, what kind of other statistics we got? Let's look at the statistics of major items. By the way, have you noticed that the statistics on finding major items have faded away? Everybody changed their data methodology, and this high-end quality data has just gone, faded away. So it's hard. You used to have data. There used to be data that said 60,000 people a year died from cheese. No joke. So, there was a little controversy that was up for a little while when I was real young. I remember it came up for a while, and then it faded away. And it was cheese. It was like, do you want to allow cheese to be at school? And people gave in to the concept of, I guess, the corruption of how dare you invade the area of the Holy Round Pizza. So I mean, you have that. I mean, you'd be better off doing the spaghetti monster stuff, but really, it's no joke. Like 3,800 children die each year from cheese. So if you want to be a real pal, go pass out cheese to kids, huh? There you go. But how many kids are dying from mass shooters? So let's break the numbers out. How many people are dying because we removed good cold medicine on the shelf that, by the way, had been there 75 years. What does this mean? Doctors approved it. Doctors. Why was it on the shelf for 75 years? Because doctors said, ooh, cold relief medicine. Oh, yes, symptom relief medicine. Very good. Yes, good, good. I mean, give me a break here, man. Give me a break here. We got these people grandstanding, and they're using a pen, and they're getting people killed in large numbers. This is not a game. This is not a joke. So if you're going to run your little model, your little city, your little Sim City, which was part of what I was going to show people with the archive. It's really a shame, 18 broadcast mobile RV vehicles. I was going to show these people all these different little ways to do these little modeling things, little samples of games. Yeah, it was kind of mostly game playing, but there was samples to try to get people to understand, and then there was video clips to explain the deeper. Those were arranged, that was the idea. That's what I was part of what I was working on. And, bang, I have no respect. I have the crazy stuff. Everything's ordered shut down. My income's ordered shut down. It's crazy. You can't do that. It's called an act of war. These people committed all these crimes. They don't want to involve themselves in rational communications. So right now, what is one of the problems that many people have when it comes to politics? Yes or no? Do people want to involve themselves in rational communications? Because some people say, yeah, let's check this out. Let's verify that out. People moving forward will look at stuff and they'll go research and they go, oh, man, I was wrong about that statistic. I was slightly off, or, man, I was whatever it was, But you have some people, they don't want to do anything. They just meet. They want, nothing. So establishing these new methodologies and things that have to be done, because there are people with lots of money all over the world that are doing the economic modeling stuff. I've been on that since 2008. Mass modeling, we needed $4 to $6 billion a year by my estimates. Then people didn't want to cover it. So what happened? Well, we fell behind. So it's like all of a sudden people are like, I don't know, maybe they don't want me to bring out those statistics and say, look, my predictions were completely right. Here. Look at these percentages. I told you so. I mean, it's bang, so wherever that goes, but, we have real serious problems, and we have to get them addressed. We have to fix the economy. We have to make the right choices. Bang for the buck. Bang for the buck, If we're going to spend a certain amount of money and someone says we can come up with 60 different choices, and one way we're going to save 100,000 lives a year, and somebody else says, oh, but we can do this other thing and it's only going to save 3,000 lives a year. Just put it on the scale. Do you save the 100,000 lives, or do you save the 3,000 lives? Really important. I mean, how could that be wrong, right? I could tell you how that would be. You want me to tell you how that could be wrong? Somebody invented a mysterious weapon that kills geniuses, and you need to build a shield that uses some kind of custom frequencies to protect geniuses, so we don't end up with a country of people that are all blah, 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 stupid. So, yeah, if that were the case, then, things would check out that way. So we have some people, they don't like me, I come and says, well, yeah, you're just a smarty, you're smarty, and you got all these computers, and maybe you model stuff out and all this stuff, and this huge data archive on knowledge. How dare you, but, yeah, I got a 240 IQ, and I could sit there and say, let's review the past 35, 40 years or so. Tactically, how's that working for you? I'm not joking with you. How's that been working for you? Your political tactic to move your idea forward and move the country forward. How's that working for you? Let's see the stats on that. Is it going backwards? Are you really concerned about certain areas? Has it been moving backwards? How's it working for your economy? How's your wallet working? How's your last 35, 40 years worth of politicking work for you? What have you won? So, okay, look, I'm not going to apologize if it sounds like I'm slapping in your face or walking up and shaking you and saying, please put the tea down, put the punch, whatever it is, just put it down. You probably need coffee, energy drinks. Not that I'm saying energy drinks are good for you or not, or whatever, but maybe your brain would be more alert. Yeah. So I'm going to say, yeah, I understand a lot of people want to throw a party, but this is important. It's very, very important. We need to talk about this. This is important. Now, a lot of people don't have very much money. They've got limited time, they have to work a lot, and their time is valuable. Now, granted, it's nice to get together, it is, and have a little bit of fun with a little bit of politicking. And that's kind of grassroots in a way, and that actually psychologically might be helping to preserve your sanity. It's important to make that assessment. Is that true? Because if it's true, you have to keep doing it. Don't surrender your slice of pizza or your spaghetti on that. No, seriously. But we do need to rethink the possibility of how things are going. Can we do things differently? Can we do more Zoom? Well, yeah, apparently we have been doing lots of Zoom. I got people asking me, Mike, you haven't been doing enough Zoom. Kind of, sort of, yeah. But there's reasons for that. When I started having people shooting at me, remember again, there's all this violence that has been focused at me. I've had people trying to kill me. Before Trump got shot at once, I was shot at twice. I had 2 attempts against my life in the year and a half prior to that, year and a half to 2 years prior to that. I've had 7 attempts against my life in my whole life. Why? Who knows? I mean, statistically, 7 attempts. I would say that obviously some of those would have to just be random events involving craziness of society. Just a density factor, random. But obviously then I'd have to say the flip side of this is there's some people that want to harm me. And I think that's a reality. A lot of people that have got more security, that can happen. Now, luckily, people change their mind. They think about it a while and then they change their mind or they change their tactics. Kind of like the government, they can only afford to give you protection for maybe 3 weeks, and then they're like, well, we can't keep doing this. So, but really, if we're doing a lot of parties, is memeism the right thing? Is grandstanding the right thing? Is a beauty contest the right thing? Is some kind of popularity contest the right thing? I'm going to have to tell you there's something wrong a little bit there. Entertaining you? Yes. Great auditory, wonderful. Okay, but are we getting lost in flash? Really, are we getting lost in flash instead of having some substance? We have to assess this from a real point. We do. Because people have very little time. I wanted to put a permanent archiving system available with incredible AI powers, and people just keep attacking me. It's amazing. It's just amazing. Decade after decade, it's mind-boggling. So that people can do things. They can have more options. They can become more efficient. They can get this stuff done. So we have to ask ourselves, are we achieving what we're doing? What are we doing, I mean, according to the computers, people are like, they think I'm nuts. I says, well, the computers say I have the best possible economic policy in the history of mankind. I've spent 25 years working on what's going to be the right way to model stuff, why it's going to work a certain way. And I've actually paid attention to certain information about why certain people think too small and how I can get certain other people, to change their mind about doing things a certain way. And that is actually where we have a lot of productivity. There's enormous productivity in these areas that have to be addressed. But there's enormous productivities for you, too. So the dream and all these things, all this stuff I've already put out on homes and this and that, people listen to me first couple of times and are like getting bored. They don't understand I've got all this material out there. And then I have to deal with the election rigging stuff. I have to sit there and go through all this stuff. I don't want to disqualify certain recordings. I don't know if I still have them. But the government has a copy. I know they have a copy. You don't see Shirley Weber going public denying anything about what I talk about and then saying, yeah, we'll show you proof. We'll show you all the recordings. Yeah, we'll show you all the recordings from the office. Yeah, we'll show you all the emails and the communications. Yeah. No, they don't want to do that. They're busted red-handed and they know they're busted. Their attitude immediately becomes, well, it's our policy. You go up to the AG's office. Well, it's our policy. We have to protect us. We have to protect our employees. I says, no, you have to protect the Constitution. That's priority one. Oh, no, we couldn't do that. I says, what about the voters? You can't disenfranchise the voters. You have to protect the voters. Oh, no. It doesn't work that way. See, you have to understand, it works. They start bringing these excuses. It works as though. I said, no, it doesn't. These are criminal charges. You are the people that are supposed to be protecting and doing these things when this happens. So people, frankly, what do you do when the people at the top that are supposed to be the ones that were the ultimate protectors get caught screwing up? We got a big problem. And this keeps happening repeatedly. And we have to understand the final transitional effects from converting to true core physics language models and super AI systems, multi-AIs. And people aren't ready to do it yet. People aren't ready to sit down. You know what everybody should be doing now instead of having a party? You should be sitting down figuring out what's your cut, what's your percentage, how much stock were you supposed to have had to begin with that people keep diverting you from understanding. What is the future as AI gets turned on? Do you want to be owning nothing? And all of a sudden, you're just out. Boom, all jobs gone. You just go over there, find a cardboard box out of some trash can, and that's it. You're there, man. You can just enjoy life. You're done. So, do you want to do that? I mean, give me a break. There's important business we have to consider, and we got people working every day going, I want to do something and I don't understand. I've been working 15 years, renting the same place. I paid for what it was worth, but now they've raised the rent where their paycheck will not pay the rent and buy them food. No joke. Insanity. I address that with the new hard asset and everyone deserves a roof over their head. That's standardized constitutionalism. But we need to be focusing on real plans, real solutions. And I don't know how to tell people that in many ways we got a bunch of people, they think they're professionals and are running around with packages going, this is how it all works. And some of them, some of those packages, that's exactly how it works. It's a good package. Other ones, they're fluff packages. It's like, man, you go to look at it, you start taking it apart, and you go, man, this is just like a basic guideline, but that's not how we have to make it work. We can reorganize this whole thing. And a lot of this information is fluff and fill. These resumes are full of information that are pointless and useless. This is arranged. Hi, I got super smiles, and everybody smiled, and we all shaked hands. Ridiculously inaccurate fract. We negotiated this, that, and the other thing. Really? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. We're nowhere we're near close. All unions, all guilds, you think too small. Why? You're not using your time efficiently. You have to end up going out on protest. This is horrible. Wow. Well, how else would you do it? Be guaranteed automatic new hard asset construction. So you can basically pick it outside the buildings, or you could go make new hard assets. Or half of you can go make hard assets, and the other half get information piped in. Or you could say, why don't we sit down with management and say, yo, hey, come on, we want a better deal here. Now, how about you help do the 2 cent to a nickel co-signing for new hard asset construction loans for people to use their time efficiently that don't have any work in between gig stuff. And all, you're not co-signing on a loan, you're over guaranteeing, you're being the guarantor loan insurance person, a 2 to 5 cent piece. Tell you what, we'll put it on the back end, wrap the whole thing around the loan. We'll give you your money back plus, well, let's negotiate. What's a good percentage to give you back on that, to do that? Negotiate. Use time efficiency, max production. We can always build new hard assets. We can always build new hard assets. So good time both ways. There's more stuff. There is a world outside of every box, which means there are more solutions that you could go out and find and put in the box. This can happen. So, is this going to resolve everything? I think it's going to move some of it forward. That I believe. So, I have too many flashing things. I have too many phone calls behind. I have to go. I'm going to thank you for your time. My name is Michael Crosby. I'm running for Potus. Yes, I am. And I'm absolutely telling you the truth about the election rigging stuff, and I don't want to see people waste their time. I've headed everything off at the pass, and I've got a bunch of paperwork now already sitting in Washington to block everything, and I'm going to get other stuff. I got to rig all this hard work for transparency, get other actions going with other states, and it's really a pain. I should be working on solutions. Everyone should be working on solutions with me instead of me working on people that are involved in corruptions and destroying artifacts older than the Constitution of the United States. So once again, thank you, Michael Crosby. I'm running for POTUS 2024.